All right, so today we're diving deep, into AI filmmaking.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, specifically 3 techniques that can help make those AI-generated videos
Mm-hmm.
that you've been seeing more realistic, even more captivating.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is
Hmm.
these aren't just techniques for those big budget productions. We're
Right.
talking tools that anyone creating videos, especially with the help of AI,
Exactly.
can use.
And our source material for this deep dive is actually a conversation
Okay.
between an AI host and a graphic designer,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty fitting, don't you think? They were discussing how to use these techniques to elevate videos created with artificial intelligence.
So it's like AI is teaching us how to make even better AI films. That's
Exactly.
really meta.
Yeah.
The techniques we're unpacking today are time-lapse,
Mm-hmm.
slow motion, the jump cut.
Classic.
You've definitely seen these in movies, but we're going to go beyond just recognizing them
Sure.
and explore how to actually use them.
I think you'll be surprised at how much depth and impact.
These techniques can add to your videos.
For sure. Let's start with time-lapse.
Okay.
I think everyone's familiar with the classic example of a flower blooming over hours, condensed into a few seconds.
Right?
That's the magic of time-lapse.
Magic, yeah.
But it's more than just speeding up time.
It's about capturing those subtle changes, those moments of transformation
Yeah.
that we might miss in real time.
Right.
By speeding up the playback of frames, captured at intervals. Time-lapse allows us to see things in a new light, revealing a sense of realism we might not have noticed otherwise.
It's like compressing time to tell a story, right?
Yeah.
Our source material actually mentions the film Koyaanisqatsi,
Oh, yes.
which uses time-lapse extensively. I remember seeing that film.
Yeah.
And it really struck me how the technique was used to show the frantic pace of modern life.
Yes. Koyaanisqatsi is a fantastic example of how time-lapse can be used to evoke a specific emotion.
The way the film uses time-lapse to depict the hustle and bustle of city life actually creates a sense of unease, almost anxiety in the viewer.
Wow.
It's not just showing change.
Right.
It's commenting on the nature of that change.
Interesting. And that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Think about how you could use time-lapse to tell a story in your own videos.
Mm-hmm.
You could capture a city skyline transforming from day to night.
Yeah.
Or even the construction of a building from start to finish.
Exact.
But it goes beyond just visuals. You can actually shape the viewer's emotional response by choosing what to show and how quickly time appears to move.
Absolutely. And if we bring AI into the mix, things get even more fascinating. Imagine using AI to create time lapses of events that would be impossible to capture in real life.
Ooh, like what?
The formation of a galaxy, the evolution of a species.
Right.
These are things we can only theorize about, but AI could help us visualize them.
Wow, okay. I'm already feeling inspired.
Good.
But let's move on to our next technique, slow motion. Now, who doesn't love a good slow-mo moment in a film?
Yeah.
It's like time stands still and you get to savor every detail. Think of a pivotal scene where a single tear rolls down someone's face and the camera lingers on that moment for dramatic effect.
Slow motion is all about manipulating time to highlight those critical details,
Okay.
drawing the viewer's eye and heightening the emotional impact of a scene.
Right.
But it's not just about playing footage back at a slower speed.
I see.
The real art lies in choosing the right moments to slow down. The moments that will resonate most with the viewer.
So it's about being selective and intentional with your use of slow motion.
Exactly.
Our source material actually brings up the bullet time sequences in The Matrix
Oh, yeah.
as a prime example of using slow motion effectively.
Uh-huh.
But those scenes weren't just about showing off cool special effects.
Of course not.
They were also slowing down the action to let the audience experience the intensity of the fight and the emotions of the characters.
Absolutely. The way those sequences are choreographed and edited, you feel like you're right there in the middle of the action.
Yeah.
You see every bullet and every expression on the characters' faces.
Wow.
And that's what makes slow motion so powerful. It gives us a new perspective on events, allowing us to absorb information and emotions that we might have missed at normal speed.
So it's not just about action sequences. It's about revealing the nuances of a scene, whether it's a fight or a quiet moment of reflection.
Right.
It's about giving those moments the space to breathe and allowing the viewer to really connect with them.
Yes. And with AI, I can only imagine the possibilities.
What do you mean?
Just think about the emotional depth AI could bring to filmmaking with the strategic use of slow motion.
Okay.
AI could analyze a scene, identify the most impactful moments, and then automatically apply slow motion to those specific segments.
Oh, wow.
We could see films where every emotional beat, every subtle gesture is emphasized and amplified in a way that resonates deeply with the audience.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. We've covered two incredible techniques already, time-lapse and slow motion. And we've barely scratched the surface of their potential in AI filmmaking.
And we still have one more to explore, the jump cut.
Right. Jump cuts.
They're all about that quick, snappy energy you see in montages where the film jumps between short bursts of footage to show the passage of time or create a sense of rapid action.
Exactly. Jump cuts are fantastic for accelerating the pace of a story, injecting a sense of urgency,
Yeah.
and keeping viewers on the edge of their seats.
They break up the traditional flow of time, creating a dynamic rhythm that can be incredibly engaging.
You remember our source material mentioned the film Un Chien Andalou,
Oh, right.
a surrealist film that uses jump cuts to create a very specific effect.
That's right. In Un Chien Andalou, the jump cuts are used to create a disorienting, almost dreamlike experience.
Interesting.
They're not just used for pacing.
Right.
They're used to disrupt the viewer's expectations and challenge traditional storytelling.
So jump cuts can be used for more experimental filmmaking as well. I find that really interesting. It's like they can be used to play with time and perception,
Yes.
creating a unique viewing experience.
And in the context of AI filmmaking, the possibilities for experimentation with jump cuts are endless.
Like what?
Imagine AI algorithms generating visuals that are specifically designed to be fragmented and disjointed, creating entirely new forms of visual storytelling.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And on a more practical level, I can see AI using jump cuts to create those snappy, attention-grabbing videos we see all over social media.
For sure.
It's all about keeping viewers engaged in a world where everyone's attention span is shrinking.
Right.
So we've got time-lapse for showing transformation and creating specific moods.
Yes.
Slow motion for revealing those impactful moments and amplifying emotions. And jump cuts for driving the pace and experimenting with time and perception.
Exactly.
It's incredible how much you can do with just these three techniques.
And the beauty of it is that these techniques aren't limited to AI filmmaking.
Well, that's true.
Anyone with a camera and a bit of creativity can use them to tell more compelling stories and create more engaging videos.
Absolutely. But before we move on to part two, where we'll delve deeper into how AI is being used to implement these techniques, I have a question for you.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Out of these three techniques, which one stands out to you the most in terms of its potential within AI filmmaking, and why?
That's a great question. Honestly, they all hold incredible potential, but I think slow motion, especially when paired with AI, has the most transformative power. Think about it. AI can analyze a scene on a level we simply can't.
Right.
Picking up on micro expressions, subtle shifts in body language, things we might miss with the naked eye.
Yeah.
By slowing down those crucial moments,
Okay.
AI could essentially guide our emotional experience of a film,
Wow.
making us feel things more deeply, more intensely.
It's like AI could become the ultimate director,
Precisely.
choosing exactly how we experience a story right.
It's both exciting and a little daunting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about how AI is actually being used to implement these techniques. Because it's one thing to understand what these techniques are,
Right.
but it's another thing entirely to see how they're brought to life with AI.
Okay, so how is AI changing the game when it comes to these techniques?
Well, for starters, AI is making these techniques more accessible than ever before. Traditionally, you'd need specialized equipment and software to create things like time lapses or slow motion sequences.
Yeah.
But now there are AI-powered apps and platforms
so cool.
that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you.
Really?
You could shoot a simple video on your phone, and AI can help you transform it into something really stunning.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So AI is democratizing filmmaking in a sense, giving everyone the tools to create professional-looking content.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just accessibility.
Okay.
AI is also pushing the boundaries of what's possible creatively.
How so?
For example, with time-lapse, AI can analyze vast amounts of data,
What kind of data?
like weather patterns or traffic flows, and use that information to generate time lapses that are not just visually stunning, but also incredibly realistic.
So instead of just pointing a camera at a cityscape for hours, AI can actually predict how that cityscape will change over time based on real-world data.
Exactly.
That's next level.
Right.
What about slow motion? How is AI being used there?
AI is making slow motion much more precise and nuanced.
Yeah.
For example, imagine you're filming an action scene.
Right.
Traditionally, you'd have to slow down the entire sequence,
Right.
even the parts that aren't as important.
Yeah.
But with AI, you can select specific objects or characters within the frame
Uh-huh.
and apply slow motion only to them.
Oh, wow.
This allows you to draw the viewer's attention to the most important elements of the scene,
I see.
creating a much more dynamic and engaging experience.
That's amazing. It's like AI is giving filmmakers a whole new level of control over their storytelling.
It really is.
And what about jump cuts? Any cool AI applications there?
Definitely AI can actually analyze the rhythm and pacing of a scene and then suggest optimal places to insert jump cuts.
Oh, interesting.
This can be incredibly helpful for editors who are trying to create a specific mood or tone.
Yeah.
But AI can also be used to generate jump cuts that are much more complex and creative than anything we've seen before. Think about AI algorithms analyzing the emotional content of a scene
Right.
and then creating jump cuts that amplify those emotions.
Wow.
It's like AI could become a co-author of the story, adding its own unique layer of interpretation.
Okay, that's both fascinating and a little bit terrifying,
Mm-hmm.
but in a good way.
Right.
It seems like with AI, we're really just scratching the surface of what's possible with these techniques.
Yeah.
What are some of the ethical considerations that we should be aware of as AI becomes more involved in filmmaking?
That's an important question, and it's something we need to be thinking about now. As these technologies are being developed, one concern is the potential for AI to be used to create deep fakes, which are essentially videos that have been manipulated to make it look like someone is saying or doing something they never actually said or did.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
This could have serious implications for things like political campaigns or even just personal relationships. If people can no longer trust what they see in videos, it could erode our trust in the media and in each other.
It's a scary thought, but it's something we need to be aware of.
Mm.
Are there any other potential pitfalls we should be thinking about?
Another concern is the potential for AI to perpetuate existing biases.
Oh, right.
AI algorithms are trained on data,
Mm.
and if that data is biased,
Yeah.
then the AI will be biased as well. This could lead to AI-generated films that reinforce harmful stereotypes or exclude certain groups of people.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but about who's developing it and what kind of data they're using to train those AI models.
Yeah.
It seems like we need to be having these conversations now to ensure that AI is used responsibly and ethically in filmmaking.
Mhm.
But aside from the potential pitfalls, there's also a lot of excitement and optimism around AI filmmaking.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're most excited about?
What excites me most is the potential for AI to help us tell stories that have never been told before.
Okay.
AI can analyze data, identify patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and generate content in ways that humans simply can't. This could lead to entirely new genres of film, new ways of storytelling, new ways of seeing the world.
It's like AI could open up whole new realms of creativity and imagination.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible to think about. But as we wrap up part 2 of our deep dive, I want to bring it back to our listeners.
Of course.
What is the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this discussion about AI and filmmaking techniques?
That's tough. I think the most important thing to remember is that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
It's up to us as creators and as a society
Yeah.
to ensure that AI is used to enhance our storytelling, not to manipulate or deceive.
That's a great point.
Oh.
We have a responsibility to be mindful of the potential impact of AI, both positive and negative.
For sure.
But I think it's also important to remember that AI filmmaking is still in its early stages.
Yeah,
We're just starting to explore what's possible.
absolutely. And that's what makes it so exciting. We're on the cusp of a new era of filmmaking, where the lines between reality and imagination are becoming increasingly blurred.
It's like AI is giving us a new set of brushes to paint with a whole new palette of colors and textures. And it's up to us, the artists,
Right.
to figure out how to use these tools to create something truly meaningful and impactful.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
It really captures the sense of possibility that surrounds AI filmmaking. And who knows, maybe someday AI will even be able to help us come up with those analogies.
No, that's a thought.
Yeah.
But for now, I think we've given our listeners plenty to chew on.
Yeah.
We've explored the power of time-lapse, slow motion, and jump cuts, not just as techniques,
Right.
but as ways of shaping time, emotion, and perception.
And we've delved into how AI is not only making these techniques more accessible, but also pushing the boundaries of what's possible creatively, allowing us to tell stories in ways we never thought possible.
It's been a fascinating journey, and I'm excited to see where AI filmmaking takes us next.
Me too. And to our listeners, I'd say this. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah.
Play with these techniques, explore the possibilities of AI, and see what kind of stories you can bring to life.
That's the perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI filmmaking techniques.
Yeah, okay.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.